That's a pretty messed up way of handling those two characters. Let's talk about it. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. This is your last chance. This is spoiler discussion. This is spoiler discussion. This is your last chance. Spoilers, okay? I'm going to spoil it. So let's go. Right off the bat, the Fogmeister, Foggy. So basically, I think what I'm going to try and do is I believe there are 9 episodes. So I believe that I think there's going to be a story arc of each three. So I'm going to do like reviews of each 3 episodes. So this is the first story arc that is done, then the next three. So end of Act One, as you would say. Bold move, and it's a move. It's a very bold move, and I'd do it. It's one thing to have a good plot line, but it's another thing to properly execute it. I think that killing Foggy can be very interesting because that's a catalyst. And that's a catalyst that just changes Murdoch. This was handled badly. It was handled very, very badly. I would have done this at the end of the first episode because the way it was done and how early it was done, and then because first of all, when it happened, I was like, wait, well, how did it happen? And everything, and it's just happened so awkwardly and just wasn't directed very well. And then the fights, the idea of the fight with the bullseye was good, poorly executed. I was like, do you know how good the choreography was on the Netflix show? That was what made the show amazing. Like what the show was known for was like, guys, have you seen the amazing fights choreography on this show? And I don't know whether like maybe it's not the same director, the same team, but like this is not the same as how good it was on the Netflix show because the choreography here was a mess. It was a complete mess. Like the idea was good of like how it's in one shot. It starts outside. It starts in the bar. It goes through apartment buildings and it ends up on the roof. It's a great idea. So the concept is right, but the execution, the actual choreography on screen was poorly done. I mean, can you please call up Wen Wu Peng, who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on the Matrix movies? Call him, call him for some help. But I felt that Foggy should have died at the very end of the episode, and that should have been the bookend of episode 1. So you're like, whoa. So at the very end, you're like, damn. So you actually give him an entire episode because we are only just introduced to this, and I think this is the issue because I remember I was watching like another review of it, which was I think on I think it's called like Midnight Boys. Really, really good show. Shout out to your boy Bill Simmons, man. You know, like the Ringerverse. So they were saying like, look, not everyone has seen the Netflix show. Not everyone has. So you can't assume everyone has seen the Netflix show. So for people who've seen the Netflix show like me, oh yeah, I know Karen and the Fog and we know that. But for me, I haven't seen the Netflix show since it ended. So I've forgotten the whole idea of their friendship and their chemistry. So for somebody who watched it initially but hasn't seen it in a long time, I would have said give him the 40 minutes of episode 1 to learn what it's about, why they're close, what the chemistry is. So once he gets killed, people who watched initially but haven't watched in a long time, and people who never watched to begin with are like, oh wow, because this guy he's a good actor. He's a really good actor because I've forgotten. There's a film he was in from I think from the 90s that he was in, and I've forgotten. But I remember a film he was in the 90s. Well, it was pretty good, but he was really young then. So I just thought that he hardly had much time. There's only a bit of bounce between them, and then he just gets popped by bullseye. Whereas that it happened, it was too quick, way too quick, and that should have happened at the end of the episode because it is for me. It's a bold thing to do, and I would have done that. But you either kill Foggy or Karen. But why I'd go for Foggy is just from a storytelling point of view, you still want that potential romantic interest to still be there. Because now you now have Matt Murdock, who's now in a potential relationship with the psychologist. But Karen is still someone that's still lingering there. And even on the Netflix show, it was like, will they, won't they? So just having her out there just as a potential romantic interest is still a good storytelling device to have. So I would actually keep Karen alive, kill Foggy. But you've got to give him 40 minutes. You've got to remind us about why he matters. You have to remind us about why it's a big deal. Because people who've not watched the show, they're like, okay, fuck that, who cares? Even me who saw it, I'm like, it impact me as much because I couldn't really remember what the relationship was like. So I thought that was a bad storytelling move to kill him so early. He should have been given 40 minutes and should have been killed at the end of the episode. Then that would have made more sense and much more of an impact. The other one, first of all, rest in peace to the actor who tragically passed away. So again, rest in peace and condolences to the actor and his family who actually passed away in real life. So this is how episode 3 ends. Okay, now I'm confused. Maybe you can tell me in the comments below. Was that the Punisher, or is that somebody inspired by the Punisher now wearing the Punisher insignia? I assume it's the latter. Someone inspired by the Punisher wearing his insignia, but I don't know. That's just one of my assumption. I thought this guy was actually really. Now here's the thing. Really good actor, really good acting, interesting storyline with like the corruption of the police officers, the white tiger costume, and just even when you just saw issues of the white tiger, like, ugh. And I'll get to my issues with the Daredevil afterwards. Like that seemed a bit iffy, but when you just saw him now wear his coat, I was like, oh, well, okay, let's not see him be white tiger. And when he gets popped off again, I was like, we don't even. It's shocking, but not really, because it's like, okay, it's shocking because it's like, oh, well, you didn't expect it to him to be shot just after he was acquitted. But again, similar to Foggy, we don't know him. We've not gotten any time to really know what he's about. And again, I don't know what they have for the other 6 episodes, but this is something that I felt, okay, let's actually get to know him a little bit more, so that when he now gets killed unexpectedly, it's much more a bigger impact. So because right now I'm like, okay, who is the white tiger? Why is it a big deal? And I'm sorry. Remember, what did they say? Show, don't tell. That's the key rule you learn from screenwriting. Show, don't tell. So all because you're just telling us how much of a big deal he is, and you're just telling us that he saved people and he saved me there, doesn't make me care. You have to show me him saving people. Show me him putting himself out there. Show me in those actual situations him actually being a savior and saving guys in New York while Daredevil ain't around. So I just thought that you could have expanded his, because again, he's a good actor, and his scenes were very good, and his scenes with Charlie Cox were really good. So I thought you could have embellished that a lot more rather than just keep it to this the kind of case that they had. So like, look, again, I mean, it was shocking. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that. And again, it's a good, interesting storytelling device, because now it's like, oh, wow. See, what they did of him being killed at the end of the episode is what they should have done for Foggy. Because right now you're like, because it now sets things up for the very next episode. So now for episode 4, you're like, whoa, this guy got popped. What does that now mean? With the context of stuff. But I just thought that because he's a really good actor, his character should have been embellished more. Kingpin. Again, shout out to Vincent D'Onofrio. And guys, if you haven't seen, let me just tell you how good this actor is. Full Metal Jacket. Now, Full Metal Jacket is one half one of the greatest war films ever. Another half, a pretty decent war film. Like the second half of the film is a decent war film. The first half of the film is one of the greatest war films ever. Because it just shows you the psychological part of war and how you can get indoctrinated. Obviously directed by a boy Stanley Kubrick, starring Matthew Modine. And again, I don't want to spoil it for people who've not seen it, but D'Onofrio plays a great pivotal part in the first half of the movie. So you should really watch that, because D'Onofrio's performance in that is amazing. And this is when he was really young, because the film was, I think, in the late 80s. So if you can, go watch him in Full Metal Jacket. He gives an amazing, for me, he's a standout of the film. He gives an amazing performance in Full Metal Jacket. And if you can, he was on an episode of Homicide: Life on the Streets, an episode called Subway. Crazy episode of a crazy show, Homicide: Life on the Street. So again, very good actor, and also as well, most people maybe remember he was the villain in Men in Black. With all the prosthetics, he was the main villain in Men in Black with Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones. You see, here's the thing: I didn't watch Echo, but I heard things about Echo. And I heard what they tried to do to Kingpin and Echo. So once I just heard stuff, I was like, thank God I didn't watch that garbage trash. Because, no. And his performance was so crazy and so risky and so dynamic and so out there. I was like, oh no, bro, this guy is doing some very interesting stuff here. Because let's be real, like, the standouts things of the Netflix Daredevil series was the amazing choreography and D'Onofrio's performance. Those are things that like really stood out. And the thing here is, and I mean, obviously, like his performance, it may not suit for people, but I just like that he's really going there and he's trying. He's picked a voice, he's picked a mannerism, and he's sticking to a particular mannerism. And this guy is very unsettling, and he's got a very particular demeanor about him. And I like when an actor is brave and really has a specific take on a character. Is this Kingpin or Sidepin? That's what I need to know. Because do you know what Kingpin means? Kingpin is I'm the big dog. I'm that dude. So because it seems as if this is like a king and queen. And this is like a double act. So yes, he's mayor, and obviously him being mayor, he can now pretty much shape New York to how he wants it to be. And you can see how with his messed up knuckles and stuff that he will never change his ways. And he knows he'll never change his ways, just what the police chief says to him. But it just seems as if he's still simping for his ex-wife. And I think wasn't she in Man of Steel? Wasn't she Superman's mother in the Man of Steel movie? I think she was, the actress. Like, she should have a role in this. But it just seems as if he's like so still very subservient to her. Like, I get it. He's in love with her. He's obsessed with her and everything. But this is still Kingpin. And this is still the real main villain of Daredevil. And this is a guy that was supposed to be feared. And I'm just hoping and praying that they're just not trying to simp him out. And they're trying not to pacify him. So let me just see where it goes, because I like the aspect of bringing in the marriage counselor, and they're not trying to counsel, and they're trying to like work out the dynamics of how they now rule, and like what is her role, what is his role. But we have to realize that we're not here for her, we're here for him, we're here for Kingpin. And Vincent D'Onofrio and his acting talents is very important to this show, as it was in the original show. So I just hope they realize that no, this is still Kingpin, and we still need him to be that dude and pretty much really push the issue and say what's up. So again, it's the first 3 episodes. It's interesting so far. I like how he's mayor, and I'm interested to see now what he now does in this kind of political sphere and how influential he can be, which now makes things difficult for Daredevil from a legal point of view. So I like that he's his mayor. And if a guy is his mayor, he's no longer like a criminal kingpin and everything. He's now a mayor. So he can pretty much get away with a lot more stuff based on his role. So this now makes it much more difficult for Daredevil to now say what's up to him. So it leaves me now with this. So far, you see, for me, I think it's interesting so far because it's like I sort of get where they're going with the story. We don't need to see Daredevil now, because based on what's happened to Foggy, which could have been handled better, he's now trying to go away from the Daredevil persona. Charlie Cox, yeah, he's still good, you know. And I was trying to think, like, okay, could they have had a better actor to be Daredevil? And I think like he's probably, just based on just what this character is and what he's doing with the character, I think he's probably one of the best. It's just given just his age group and what he's doing with the character. So I think, look, okay, can we change the costume? Come on, bro. In 2025, that can be the best Daredevil costume you can go with, bro. And guys, I'll keep it a stack. The movie's trash. The movie was garbage, was a piece of crap. That Daredevil costume in the Ben Affleck movie was good. The film stunk. The film was garbage, but the costume was pretty damn good. So if you're saying from an 04 film has a better costume than a 2025 TV show, come on, bro. And this is Disney. You've got money. You've got money. So yeah, for me, I'm not feeling that costume. The costume needs to be a lot better. I'm just hoping and praying that the choreography is better because no, let's be real. When Matt Murdock fought the policeman in that witness's apartment, that was done really well. I was like, okay, now that's good. Now that's great choreography. So if they can keep that intensity and that choreography when he's Daredevil, now we're cooking. But just the choreography with the bullseye, I wasn't feeling that. So look, it's not look. I mean, it's cool so far. Like it's not. It's not trash. It's not great. It's pretty good. But put it this way, I'm intrigued. It's not a case of where okay, I don't care. I'm like, okay, when is episode 4 going to come out? And that's the key thing. I'm looking forward to seeing, okay, so White Tiger just got popped off. How is Matt Murdock going to react to that? How is his law firm going to react to that? How is Kingpin going to react to that? What is Kingpin now going to do as mayor? So they've put in many pieces in there to actually say, okay, I'm actually intrigued and interested to now see what's going to happen in episode 4. So just get the costume right, get the choreography right, and let Kingpin be Kingpin, and that's freaking dude, bro. And then we can cook.